scorched alive on Mercury, on Venus, crushed, suffocated, frozen, or torn apart by storms on far-off worlds. Every planet in our solar system has the ability to kill you in a different, cruel way. Be thankful that you are here on Earth as you gaze up at the night sky. Picture yourself on Mercury, Saturn, or Uranus, all deceased. We'll demonstrate today how each planet has the potential to kill you. Fortunately, NASA has provided you with respawns, allowing you to survive each horrific environment. Mercury. Consider yourself on the verge of landing on Mercury, the planet nearest to the Sun. Like the Moon, it appears serene from space, gray, stony, and silent. However, something feels off as soon as you go downhill. The slowing down of your spaceship is not working properly. At that point, you realize that Mercury has virtually no atmosphere. There is neither a cushion to soften your landing, nor air to provide drag. You are totally dependent on your engines, and you manage to reach the surface after a difficult, unsteady drop. The real test is about to begin. You have to decide whether to go outside into the chilly darkness or the beautiful sunny side. A lethal 430 degrees Celsius is reached on one side. However, they fall to minus 180 degrees Celsius. In either case, it seemed impossible to survive. You choose to start with the day side. The heat is unbearable as soon as you step outside. Your suit can't take it at all. The outer layers start to break down in a matter of seconds. The temperature continues to rise despite your cooling system's difficulties. Then your suit entirely collapses. There is no oxygen to breathe in the absence of an atmosphere. You immediately start to choke. Your body overheats quickly as a result of the intense heat. Your body's fluids begin to boil due to the low pressure. Everything happens all at once, and it ends in a matter of seconds. You attempt again after respawning. You go with the dark side this time. A new type of danger arises as soon as you go outside. It's extremely cold, far colder than anything on Earth. Your body swiftly loses heat due to the frigid temperature, despite your suit's best efforts to keep you warm. Your toes and fingers go numb. Your cells are harmed when ice crystals start to grow in your tissues. The vacuum of space causes you to lose pressure and oxygen if your suit malfunctions even slightly. Death is slower this time, but it's still inevitable. Your body shuts down in a matter of minutes. The Terminator zone, which is the thin strip between day and night, is the last try. It seems doable at first, neither too hot nor too chilly. You begin to feel optimistic. However, Mercury's extremely slow rotation causes the temperature to fluctuate continuously. The ground warms as the sun slowly rises. Freezing darkness pursues you as you move away. This place lacks equilibrium and a secure place to reside. You eventually run out of time because your outfit can't keep up. One thing is abundantly evident about Mercury. It is a planet of extremes. It gives no prospect of survival due to its lack of atmosphere, strong solar radiation, and extreme temperature fluctuations. The result is always the same whether you burn, freeze, or struggle in between. Death is a certainty on Mercury, not a possibility. Mars. You arrive at Mars, a planet that, for a brief and almost convincing moment, makes you feel like survival might actually be possible. Because as your spacecraft descends through its thin atmosphere and touches down on the dusty red surface below, everything seems calmer and less hostile than the worlds you've just experienced. And when you finally step outside during the day, you're surprised to feel a temperature close to 20 degrees Celsius, a warmth that almost tricks your mind into thinking you're somewhere familiar, somewhere safe. But that illusion doesn't last long, because the moment you check your surroundings, you're reminded that the air around you is almost entirely carbon dioxide, completely unbreathable, meaning that if your suit fails even slightly, you won't die instantly, but instead experience a terrifying and desperate struggle for air, where your chest tightens, panic rises, and every breath becomes more painful than the last before you slowly lose consciousness. Still, with your suit holding, you move forward across the rocky ground, each step kicking up fine red dust as the quiet, empty landscape stretches endlessly around you. But that silence is suddenly broken when you notice something forming in the distance, a massive dust storm building rapidly, growing larger and darker until powerful winds slam into you at speeds reaching nearly 100 kilometers per hour, surrounding you in a blinding cloud of dust that scratches your visor, reduces your visibility to almost nothing, and reminds you once again that Mars is far from safe. Yet somehow you endure it, standing your ground until the storm finally passes and the world becomes still again. But just as you begin to regain a sense of control, you notice the light fading as night slowly takes over, And with it comes a far more dangerous threat, because the temperature begins to drop. And it doesn't stop, falling from mild warmth to freezing cold, and then far beyond until it reaches around minus 130 degrees Celsius, a level your suit struggles desperately to handle as the cold begins to seep through, draining your body of heat, slowing your movements, numbing your fingers, and making even the simplest actions feel impossible until eventually your body can no longer keep up. Your strength fades, your vision blurs, and the quiet, freezing darkness of Mars slowly takes you, proving in the end that this planet doesn't kill you instantly like others, but instead gives you hope, lets you believe you might survive, and then slowly takes everything away. Jupiter. Imagine approaching Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, a swirling giant so massive it could fit over 1,300 Earths inside it. From a distance, it looks mesmerizing, with its colorful bands and the iconic Great Red Spot churning endlessly. But up close, Jupiter is not just beautiful, it is brutally lethal. Long before you even arrive, the danger begins. Jupiter is surrounded by intense radiation, powerful enough to penetrate your spacecraft. At a distance of about 300,000 kilometers, your protective systems would start to fail. Invisible waves of energy would assault your body, damaging your cells, your immune system, and your organs. Within hours, or at most a few days, you would succumb to radiation sickness. Only extraordinarily high doses would kill you instantly, but Jupiter ensures a slow, inevitable end even before you get close. If somehow you survive that, the descent begins. Jupiter's immense gravity, about 2.4 times stronger than Earth's, pulls you downward with crushing force. Every movement becomes exhausting, as if an invisible weight is pressing you into oblivion. You plunge into thick clouds made of hydrogen and helium, mixed with frozen ammonia crystals. The temperature here drops to around minus 150 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze you in moments. But the cold is the least of your worries. Winds roar across the planet at speeds of up to 482 kilometers per hour, slamming into you like relentless waves. You are no longer falling. You are being torn apart by storms larger than entire continents. You are tossed, battered, and shredded in a chaotic sky that never rests. As you descend deeper, the environment becomes even more alien. The gases around you grow denser, transforming into a strange state known as a supercritical fluid, something that is neither fully liquid nor gas. It engulfs you completely. Sunlight disappears, replaced by total darkness. Pressure builds rapidly, squeezing you from all sides. Unlike being crushed against a surface, this force presses evenly across your entire body, like a bottle being compressed deep underwater, but far more extreme. At this point, biology begins to fail. Your body cannot withstand the pressure and heat. Gases inside you expand and escape, tissues break down, and your structure collapses. You stop being a living organism and begin to break apart into basic elements. You are no longer you are becoming matter. Deeper still lies one of Jupiter's strangest features, metallic hydrogen. Here, hydrogen behaves like a liquid metal, conducting electricity and radiating intense heat. Temperatures soar beyond 24,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. Any remaining trace of your body is instantly vaporized. There is no ground to land on, no surface to hit. Jupiter is an endless ocean of gas and liquid, and it swallows you completely. In the end, you don't just die, you are obliterated. Your molecules are torn apart, scattered, and absorbed into the planet's vast interior. What remains is nothing more than a faint dusting of elements, calcium, carbon, iron, lost forever in the storm. In truth, you would likely never make it this far. The intense radiation would kill you long before you reached the atmosphere. And even if you somehow entered it, the extreme heat and friction would burn you apart instantly. Jupiter is not just dangerous, it is a powerful reminder of how fragile life truly is in the face of the universe. So if there's one piece of advice to take from all this, avoid skydiving on Jupiter. Saturn. Imagine floating in your ship above a planet so beautiful it could be a jewel in the sky, but one that wants nothing more than to destroy you. That planet is Saturn, the crown jewel of the solar system, famous for its golden rings. From far away, the rings shimmer like treasure. Up close, however, they are a deadly gauntlet. Saturn's rings are made of countless ice and rock particles, ranging from tiny grains smaller than a pebble to massive chunks, bigger than a mountain. And orbiting them are 146 moons, each silently circling like sentinels, their gravity capable of pulling your ship off course with fatal consequences. One misstep, one miscalculated maneuver, and your journey ends before it even begins. You thread the needle, weaving your ship through the icy maze, avoiding moons and ring shards, until you finally pierce the outer layers of Saturn. Then, the real danger begins. The winds here roar at 1,800 kilometers per hour, faster than any hurricane on Earth, scraping your ship like invisible sandpaper. You are not simply falling, you are being shredded by the very atmosphere itself. Through the golden haze, your eyes catch the Great Hexagon, a geometric storm at Saturn's North Pole so enormous it could swallow 2 Earths. It spins with hypnotic calm, but you know instinctively that this calm hides pure destruction. Saturn kills in stages, a slow and inevitable dismantling. First comes the freezing cold. The upper atmosphere is a frozen wasteland at -250 degrees Celsius, enough to crystallize flesh and bone almost instantly. Yet as you fall, friction from the thickening gases and the planet's internal heat turns the cold into a furnace, reaching a mind-boggling 11,700 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. You are trapped between ice and fire, frozen and incinerated simultaneously. There is no solid ground. Saturn is a gas giant, and as you descend, the hydrogen and helium around you thicken into a supercritical fluid, a substance neither gas nor liquid. You do not land. You sink into an endless metallic ocean that bends light and distorts reality. Pressure rises beyond comprehension, 1,000 times the pressure on Earth, enough to crush molecules themselves. Your body is flattened, atoms collapse, and eventually you vanish, becoming part of Saturn's golden, stormy heart. Saturn does not kill with malice, it kills with inevitability. And in its golden tomb, amidst the raging winds and hypnotic storms, you become eternal. The hexagon at Saturn's pole is still a mystery. Scientists aren't sure why it keeps its perfect 6-sided shape, making Saturn not just deadly, but beautifully strange. Uranus. Now you're getting close to one of the solar system's most peculiar worlds. Everything feels darker and quieter as your ship approaches. Now that the sun is so far away, its light hardly reaches this region of space. Uranus is dark, icy, and lifeless, even from orbit. Orbiting is not a waste of time. You quickly start to descend, plunging directly into the atmosphere. You are immediately encircled by dense clouds, primarily composed of hydrogen, helium, and methane. You are safe within your ship for the time being, even if none of it is breathable. The temperature rapidly decreases as you descend, reaching about -195 degrees Celsius. If you were exposed, it would freeze solid in a matter of seconds. The winds then start to blow. At up to 900 kilometers per hour, violent currents rip through the atmosphere. The pressure causes your spacecraft to tremble, creaking as though it would collapse at any time. Then something shifts. Initially, little cold particles start to strike your ship. Sharp, tiny hits are tapping the hull. However, those particles get bigger, tougher, and sharper the lower you go. They are no longer ice, they are gems. Yes, carbon condenses into solid diamonds that actually rain through the atmosphere due to the extreme pressure inside Uranus. At hundreds of kilometers per hour, those diamonds are now being hurled towards your ship. It's a deafening sound. You determine that now is the time. The ship is stopped by you. The door is opened by you. You go outside. You are immediately struck by a wall of wind that is so strong it almost tears you to pieces. Another gust, this one full of broken diamonds, hits you before you can restore your equilibrium. They hit your body as if they were bullets. Your outfit rips apart. The material is torn apart by holes. Pressure escapes. The oxygen disappears. You start to feel suffocated. At the same moment, the rising pressure starts to crush you from the inside while the cold freezes you from the outside. And something even worse occurs as you descend further. The temperature begins to rise once more. Your body can't handle the extremes of being simultaneously hot, squashed, and frozen. Your building falls apart. Your form disintegrates. You are totally devastated in a matter of moments. Neptune. You respawn for the final time, drifting toward the last of the major worlds, Neptune, the distant, mysterious blue giant. From afar, its serene azure glow seems almost gentle, a twin of Uranus. But appearances are deceiving. Neptune is not calm. It is a chaotic masterpiece of fury, a planet where beauty and terror collide. As your ship approaches, the silence of space is shattered. Neptune seizes you instantly with the fastest winds in the solar system, supersonic gales roaring at over 2,000 kilometers per hour. These are not mere storms, they are relentless, planet-wide tempests that dwarf the mightiest hurricanes on Earth. Your ship groans and twists under the assault, tossed like a leaf in a tornado. The blue light of the upper atmosphere fades, replaced by suffocating darkness. No sunlight penetrates here, only pressure, motion, and the endless roar of wind. The paradox of this ice giant soon reveals itself. The frigid upper layers, plunging to minus 220 degrees Celsius, slowly give way to searing subterranean heat as you descend. But the danger is not just temperature. The crushing pressure rises exponentially, millions of times stronger than Earth's atmosphere. Even your reinforced hull begins to warp under the sheer weight of the airless, invisible ocean. And then, a new horror: diamond rain. High pressure inside Neptune compresses carbon into crystalline diamonds, which fall like jagged, speeding bullets through the atmosphere. The wind propels them at terrifying speed. Your ship shakes violently as shards pierce the outer layers, cutting like surgical knives through metal. There is no solid ground to break your fall, only an endless abyss of blue darkness. With no choice, you jump. The moment you exit the airlock, Neptune claims you. The supersonic winds hurl you into an uncontrollable tumble, diamond fragments slicing through your suit, tearing it apart. The pressure begins to crush your body, compressing your bones and organs, while the rising heat from the 7,000 degrees Celsius interior sears what remains. You are not merely dying, you are being disassembled, molecule by molecule, into the depths of the violent blue giant. There is no escape, no rescue, no last breath of air. Oxygen disappears, your suit becomes a memory, and your body is obliterated in Neptune's sublime but lethal embrace. In this extreme alien world, death is not sudden. It is complete, absolute, and strangely beautiful in its terrifying perfection. Neptune's winds are the fastest in the solar system, yet the planet is over 4.5 billion kilometers from the Sun, colder than Pluto at its surface. Its storms rage unseen, making this distant giant one of the most hostile worlds we could ever visit. Venus. With a distance of only 40 million kilometers, Venus is the closest planet to Earth. That is a short journey in space, taking about 4 months to reach. Venus also seems almost familiar at first glance. It has a similar gravity and is almost the same size as Earth. However, the parallels cease there. You see something odd as you get closer to Venus. Thick, yellowish clouds envelop the entire globe. They appear delicate, almost lovely, but don't be duped. Sulfuric acid makes up these clouds. You start to descend. Your spaceship begins to gently slow down, unlike Mercury. Venus functions as a massive cushion due to its dense atmosphere. It feels almost secure for a second. Then, however, things begin to shift. It gets darker the deeper you go. The amount of sunshine that can penetrate those thick clouds is only around 10%. Like an endless sunset, the world below appears dark, orange, and unsettling. Your instruments start to alert you. Carbon dioxide makes up the majority of the air outside. This place is devoid of oxygen, unable to breathe. The temperature continues to rise. 400 degrees Celsius, 430 degrees Celsius, and 460 degrees Celsius. When you get to the surface, the temperature is about 464 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt lead. The worst part isn't even the heat, though. You touch down. Everything is motionless for a moment. The hatch is then opened. It seems wrong the moment you step outside. It feels almost like you're walking through liquid because of how thick the air is. Every motion is slow and ponderous. The atmosphere is too much for your suit to handle. After that, you sense it. The strain. The atmospheric pressure of Venus is 92 times greater than that of Earth. That is considerably worse than being submerged in the ocean for almost a kilometer. There's a creak in your suit. Next, exert pressure. This amount of pressure is too much, even if it was designed to withstand intense heat. Your body starts to respond in a matter of seconds. Your chest constricts. It becomes impossible to breathe. The crushing force surrounding you compresses your lungs. Your eardrums burst. The pressure is too much for your blood vessels to handle. Then your suit doesn't work, and when it does, there is no survival. The crushing atmosphere collapses your body instantly. The toxic carbon dioxide fills what little space is left. The extreme heat burns everything at the same time, and as if that wasn't enough, droplets of sulfuric acid begin to fall from above, eating away at anything they touch. Heat, pressure, toxic air, acid,
Everything on Venus is designed to destroy you. There is no escape, no second chance. Venus isn't just hot, it's deadly in every possible way. If Mercury burns you and freezes you, Venus crushes you, melts you, and erases you completely.